Well, the cost of putting food on the table is the highest it's been in 40 years. Ground beef is one of the foods seeing a high price hike.
Beef costs 12% more now compared to this time last year. You'd think that would mean big profits for ranchers, but Alexa Liaco found they're struggling to keep their own businesses running.
The cost to raise cattle has gone up so much that some ranchers are being forced to sell off parts or even their entire herd of cattle. But that's not the only thing that's making it more expensive to get your beef from the farm to your table. And were these part of the group that you might have considered to sell?
Yes, this is my main herd.
We spent a morning driving through the Colorado plains with cattle rancher Rick Waylert.
Oh, there's crooked nose.
Ranching the land has been in his blood for generations.
Keep growing, get bigger.
But the land may be the reason he loses what he loves most.
We were talking about getting rid of part of our cows this summer because of high feed costs, no real place to keep them.
The drought is drying up the grass for cattle to feed on across the U.S. in places like Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, Texas, and Missouri. It's hurting the biggest beef production regions in the country.
You know, a person that just sold down to, out of 100, they kept 20 head because they would not have enough feed this winter to feed them all. And so they went ahead and made the decision to sell them all.
Ranchers being forced to sell off their herds means higher prices for consumers and less money for the families working the land.
Others have to go get another job somewhere else, or sorry, you don't get a paycheck this year. Hopefully you saved enough money from the years before that you can get through. It's kind of tough that way. It's not what we can control.
Also out of control, feed and fertilizer prices.
COVID started some of it, but it's supply and demand.
Stephen Kuntz, a professor of agricultural economics at Colorado State University, says the supply chain problems and the severe drought happening today are not only hiking prices now, he expects prices to keep rising for a long time.
The cow numbers themselves are down like 2.5%. So what that tells me is we're in for some very expensive beef prices, really probably 3 years down the road, 2 years down the road. You know, I think it's not just going to be beef, it's going to be protein across the board.
When you lay awake at night thinking about things, it is a struggle every day.
Stephen says ranchers can invest more in insurance to protect themselves and their herds. But when it comes to the drought, there's not much anyone can do but wait and hope that the land will once again give their livelihoods a place to thrive. In Carr, Colorado, I'm Alexa Liaco reporting.